Everybody, it's the Mad Master here. I'm just doing a video today, and probably going to be trying to do a lot of different stuff in the next few weeks because I'm getting kind of stressed out about everything that's going on. But this video, or what I'm trying to say is like, I need to take a little break from all this stuff, just the politics and the toxicity of the culture large. Because today, I guess Marjorie Taylor Greene got banned from Twitter. This is going to be about two different things, by the way, this video. And I have mixed feelings. I mean, obviously, I'm not a fan of hers or anything like that, like the matter. I do not, promote her style of politics or whatever. But we just gotta, it's gotten out of control how big tech seems to want to control the narrative all the time. And I was just thinking, because there have been some memes coming up from the Malone Joe Rogan interview about mass formation psychosis. And it's just kind of funny because some of these memes, if you would have taken this meme, printed out on like a sheet of paper, like, black and white or printer or even color, taking it back to like a leftist from 1999, they'd be like, yeah, that's so true. Like this one meme where, mass formation psychosis, they saw CNN, all these different news organizations. Or even 2002, you could take that back to. It just made me think about how sad the Overton window is, just the whole thing's just gotten so depressing because people used to really question the media and the government and big pharma, big tech, who are on the left. And it's like they're making fun of things. It's just like the right wing will take something and say really ridiculous shit. The left wing will react in a way that just makes more power for the top tiers of society, the 1%. And this is really a sad moment in our society where, there's some crazy shit out there, right? Some crazy shit that might even be sometimes it's partially true. It's like, you watch a QAnon video and it's like the first 3 or 4 minutes. Oh yeah, the corruption, blah, 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 And then they talk about something else and then it kind of takes a weird turn. You're like, yeah. It's like a cult or something. Like, the first levels of the cult will, or, the first few minutes of the orientation video, you'll be like, yes, this self-improvement. And then they'll talk about, the end. But the point is there's truth to it. And that's why it appeals to people. And this is something that the left, the ones that will support a Target store going on State Street in Madison, Wisconsin, instead of in the 90s when they would be fucking screaming up and down about that, shit like that. The left, the neoliberals that are, woke neoliberalism, is something that the left will attack because they don't want the truth. They want their narratives to be reinforced time and time again, and they want to get more rich. It's just so disgusting to see this happening, and I'm so fed up. And I just watched, I follow some right-wingers, I follow Razor Fist, Six and Hammer, a few others, and I'm not like, obviously I'm not on the right, but, as far as like watching their material, it definitely gives me a different perspective on things. And I tend to agree with Razor Fist more on musical tastes and movies and whatever. And I agree more with Six and Hammer, more on the libertarian side, of all that stuff, because sometimes he says some stuff that's kind of, I disagree with it, of course, and we did agree to disagree. I hear Kyle Kalinske say stuff, especially about the virus stuff, and it really pisses me off too. So it's like, nobody I'm 100% in agreement with, but man, this whole thing, like, this whole mass formation psychosis meme, it's like, this is so left wing. It's so much. It really made me sad because it's so much like a leftist would say back in the 90s or 2000s. Like, you had these graphs, like where these there was all these like magazines that exposed like uh, the media, not Media Matters, but what was it? There were all these things, these magazines that came out. My grandfather gave me a couple of them. It was like they would come out and they would say like, you know, truth in the media, and all these different kinds of like left wing publications that would come out and say, did you know that the news organizations are only owned by like 5 or 6 companies, and they're owned by GE and all this stuff, and all these things were true. And the left, the real left, were really pissed off about it. But now, if you put that out there now, in regards to stuff, they would say, well, it's better than the disinformation that the right wing are spreading, And it's like these left-wing tactics, these left-wing ideas, so-called, in the United States at least, like, the last few decades, that were just such a part of the, it's just part of my shirt. See, shit. I thought there was something on my shirt. These left-wing ideas that were part of the part and parcel of our society in America back in the day, and it just shows how far things have gone. It just bothered me so much, and it makes me really sad, because I guess I can't, in a way, like, because the left and the right have kind of switched. I mean, partially, in part, has switched sides in a certain way the last few years. It's like, I don't know if I can call myself a left winger without people doing a double take as far as that goes. I'm pro-choice. I'm anti-war. I'm pro do whatever the fuck you want with your body kind of stuff, and I'm still into that. I'm not going to change that. And I think police are too militaristic, plus probably some of them are racist. It's not like I sit here and say, like, oh, Trump's seeming more appealing to me by day. No, I don't say that. But yet my opinions about the media or big pharma or corporations are now becoming like problematic to some of the left. Or, the fact that I would associate myself with these people that are saying these things. And that's a really scary trend that has come about in the last few years. And I think it did start with Trump, because I think what happened with Obama was kind of the illusion that happened, and people were taken in by him, and it was people knew it was a lie. You see, the thing about the Obama years were, they weren't great, but they weren't like extremely terrible either, which has happened, which is happening under Biden and has happened under Trump and stuff. And the thing about Trump is that things were in certain ways going a little better, before, but before Biden. But it's just like, it was this malaise in our society and our culture, and between the divisiveness and the division between people, and the propaganda came into the picture. And now we see this just weird fissure in our society that's, these two sides that aren't, neither side is right, really, but there are like dissidents of the right and the left that get it more right than wrong a lot of the time. And that's what I see, this pop, it's just like the breaking points with Crystal Ball and Sagar and Jenny. And it's like, they're both populist, left and right, or whatever you want to call it. But it's like, that's seen as problematic by a lot of people. It's like, oh, well, you can't do that. You can't have those terrible people. But yeah, it's like here in Madison, Wisconsin, it's like I was talking to a relative of mine who remained an unnamed relative of mine that I talk about this kind of stuff a lot with, who is in like, we're like that as far as political things go. I could be wrong a little bit about that, but it's like, he said, it's gone to neoliberalism, Bidenism, the certain scene that he's in, without giving too much away, I have some, like, actually, it's funny because I I try to protect the identity of some of my relatives because that's all I'm going to say about that. It's kind of interesting. My life is getting more interesting as time goes on, but it's like in some ways, but yeah, it's so fucked up, and they would never have accepted, the left wing would have never, I could just imagine people protesting at the Target store on State Street, like back in the 90s, like, we do not want this here. Or even worse, I mean, if it were Walmart, they might be protests, but, Target's the more politically correct version of that. But still, it's a big corporation moving in, all the mom and pop stores are closing down, the ones that were still boarded up from last summer, the summer before this past summer. And it's just a sad moment. I don't even know if there's any cities or towns that are like actual leftist anymore in that old school way. Like, it's just a sad moment because people are just, they're bootlicking, at this point. I got my 5th booster. Ugh. It's like, what studies did you read to do that? Did you really need that? Do you think it's a good idea? It's up to you, but it's just like people just follow along with the media and fucking corporations and big tech. This, I'm so excited about Meta. It's so dumb, and I really don't know where the hell I fit anymore because I am a political nomad. I think there was someone that said this, what was I watching or listening to? It's like we're nowhere to be found. Just we're lost. It's lost. Like the whole paradigm has shifted in the past 2 years. For me, it was a gradual process. But the night that Trump got elected, when my roommate went in his room and screamed in his pillow for 6 hours straight and cried. And I was just like, yeah, it's just another scumbag president. That was the moment where I'm like, man, what is wrong with people? Holy shit. And, the Russiagate thing, which I believed the Russiagate thing. I was like, yeah, but maybe it's not as concrete, but there's still blah, blah, blah. And I believed it until that Steele dossier thing came out, months back. I'm just like, okay, I guess I was agnostic about it before then. I was like, it really doesn't matter because the United States has interfered in like 80 elections over the years. Like, who gives a fuck if, Putin did this? The Western civilization of America is going down anyways, no matter who it is, Biden, Trump. But, the Russiagate narrative was bullshit. And it disappoints me that people have an amnesia. Like, oh, nobody's calling people Russian bots anymore. Maybe Hillary is sometimes, but we all know, or Rachel Maddow, she's looking for Russians under her bed every night, But it's just these things are it's so ridiculous. So I don't really fit anywhere. I'm totally off the map at this point. I guess, if I had to say, I guess Jimmy Dore would be someone that I would identify with politically. Of course, that's problematic too to many people. And even sometimes he goes a little far, even for me, with the virus stuff too. Believe me, like, I'm as far as you can go, but he goes a little further than I do at times. And, it's like, it's tough because I don't know where to go or who to talk to. It's like, and even, thinking about like dating now, like I'd like to date a lot of young liberal women. It's like, we're gonna get into fights about, oh, you didn't wear a mask at the grocery store that one time, or you didn't have your 5th booster, or you didn't vote for Biden, or you didn't vote, because I got a lot of shit about a couple of girlfriends ago about not participating in the recall of Scott Walker in Wisconsin. I was like, yeah, he's just another politician. It's just another, the same old bullshit. You can't really change things, blah, blah, blah. I was at this more apathetic state, 10 years ago, or 10 plus years ago, about politics. And at this point, I'm kind of getting there too. It's just like, they're all the same. They're all fucked. They're all corrupt. There's nothing you can do. I kind of came back full circle. Of course, I was kind of a conspiracy person at that point too, but, kind of come full circle. this way, at the same where I was, in 2011. In 2022, I'm the same where I was 2010, 2011. I'm just like, this is where I am. And, but back then, at least things were things weren't as crazy as they get now with this Twitter and just everybody, the whole conversation has just gotten so toxic. And the censorship, big tech censorship of people, I got a video flagged where I didn't even say, some of my videos got flagged for very dubious reasons in the past. It's like, okay, I said this, about big tech or, certain things that I can't really talk about too much, but it really didn't say that I believed in that. I was just referencing it at this point, at one point in my video, and I was saying this or that. But I got 2 warnings on my channel, like over the last year or so. I got banned from Twitter for a week. They removed my video. Banned from, or not Twitter, from YouTube, And it's like, what happened to the discourse and the conversation, The more they actively suppress things, the worse it can get with disinformation. Think about it. I'll just go elsewhere. Go to BitChute. I'm sure you'll find a lot more accurate information on there. With some of the craziest shit ever, is on that channel, It's like, oh, put them in the underground. It's just like, it's the same thing with prohibition. It's the same thing with the drug war. It's the same thing with just banning things in general. In the PMRC, the sticker, it sold more albums probably in the 80s and late 80s and 90s than anything else could have. It's almost like if you were a conspiracy theorist, you almost could say, maybe the music companies got together and said, hey, wait a minute, we can make something edgy, do this new sticker, and lobbied or pretend. I don't think this is what happened, but it would be believable because how many fucking albums sold because of the PMRC, the parental, parental advisory stickers on albums sold fuck ton more records. If you just have some like boring blasé metal band with a dragon on it, like a lot of like my band, it's maybe, but just a picture of a dragon on some album cover. If you put that parental advisory explicit lyrics, they'll sell more. Why would there be like explicit lyrics on a dragon album, or I wish they would have done the like had O for occult and S for sex or whatever, like they were planning on originally with those stickers. That'd be hilarious. O for occult, like fucking insane. It's so hilarious. I would have bought, go back in time and go to one of those, go to a record store. Buy 10 O for occult stickered albums because it would probably be the best. You know what I mean? It's just fucking insane. And I don't know. It just makes me so pissed. I'm just so mad about this whole thing, this mass formation psychosis. So I think there is, but I don't think that the thing about Malone in that interview, this is from the Joe Rogan Malone interview, by the way, not Post Malone, a different Malone, which I'm not going to mention his first name because who knows what their, the terms of service are now on here. The thing is, it's always existed. It's always existed. This is what the left has talked about, like the Chomsky, Howard Zinn left. Ralph Nader, Howard Zinn, Chomsky, before he went nuts, like the last couple of years, left. They've talked about mass formation psychosis, the media, the lies, big pharma, big tech, military-industrial complex. Wait, who does that sound more like now? I guess the right wing is talking about that stuff more now. Like I have a friend that was telling me like they're really into like vegan stuff now on the right and like, GMOs and like, what was the other thing? It's like, what did like right wingers become a bunch of hippies? It's just kind of funny. It's just kind of strange. Like, what happened? Like it's just really weird. Like I had a manager recently at my job, and probably one of the best managers I had. Hopefully she doesn't watch my videos because I don't really like talking about my job in my videos. It's kind of scary. But she was like into yoga and meditation, and she told me that she didn't own a face mask. Like I don't like wearing that. It's like, whoa, what the hell? 20 years ago or 30 years ago, it'd be like, someone that would be, you know, someone that was into that stuff would have to be left wing, you know. They couldn't be a right winger. I don't know if she was a right winger, but I'm just saying she was not into the narratives. Question some of the narratives that were being given right now. I'll just say that. We didn't go that far, but, you know. And one of the best managers I've had in the last couple of years, because she was actually fucking nice. But I'm not going to complain about my job in this video. But, you know, it's pretty weird. And I'm going doing really long form videos because I'm just fucking, you know, just I have to get this stuff out, you know, so I'm kind of going a little crazy in these videos. My last video that I recorded was an hour long, and hopefully I'll get that posted today as well. But, you know, I don't really know what's going to happen with all this shit. And but yeah, mass formation psychosis. It's, you know, it's the new meme on Twitter, you know, the new thing they're talking about. And the left is saying the mass formation psychosis is QAnon and Marjorie Taylor Greene. Yeah, I'm not. No, a lot of people aren't on that side either. They're not all into QAnon or all racist MAGA wearing hat wearing people. Some of them aren't even into that. But they question the fucking narratives that you're into. And that you don't want to look in the fucking mirror. You don't want to look in the fucking mirror. Telling me I fucking changed. Telling me I'm some right winger now because I fucking question this shit. Well, fuck off. That's all.